Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV. Today we're talking about the forgotten communication tool. Are you ready? Well, let's get started. In the world today, we have more communication tools than ever. We can't even name them all in one hand or two hands anymore. The fact that we have all these tools, however, does not necessarily mean that we're communicating better. In fact, for the most part, we're not communicating better just because we have more tools. We have lots of ways to share quickly, but in our efficiency to be able to share our thoughts and our ideas quickly, we are losing our effectiveness. This is an efficiency versus effectiveness conversation that we're having today. And a lot of folks, maybe you, work remotely and you're super busy, and we use these excuses as excuses. Well, we're remote and we're busy, and as to why we can't communicate successfully enough, or that we're not building the relationships that we want to build, and it's really not, that isn't really the problem. The problem isn't about the busyness, isn't about the remoteness, it's about the fact that we are losing the high-touch forms of communication. Less time face-to-face, of course, but I'm talking about a forgotten communication tool. Are you ready? It's the handwritten note. Well, when did you last send one? You may not remember when you last sent one, but I bet you remember the last time you received one or something, or you remember receiving them. Heck, I have file folders full of them. Why? Because they're important, because they're memorable, because we don't want to lose them, because we know someone took the time to handwrite us a note. It's high touch. Let me give you a good example from my life, and that is that during our podcast, after I have a podcast conversation with one of our guests, we send them a handwritten note along with something else, but we send them a handwritten note from me thanking them for being a guest on our show. And the number of responses that we get, it's not the purpose for it, the number of responses that we get, people thanking us for sending them a note, is amazing. Now let me give you a bad example from me personally, is that I don't send near enough notes to my team. I don't send near enough handwritten notes to my family. So I can give you good examples and I can give you bad examples. All I can tell you is that as a leader, if we will do this, when we do this, it will make a huge difference. I'll only give you a couple of suggestions before I close. The first is keep it simple. In fact, you might say, well, I need to get some cards. I need to go to Hallmark. I don't think you need to do that. I think you can send it on anything. Rip out a piece of paper out of your notebook. Send the handwritten note. Will make all the difference. Now, we happen to have some cards that we use, but keep it simple. Second, make it a priority. One a week, one every other week, one a day. I don't know what it is. Find a way, make it a part of your plan, make it a part of your priorities, and you will have found refound a better way to communicate, another way to communicate. And lastly, just do it. The handwritten note is the forgotten communication tool. It's a tool that will help us create relationships, build trust, and build memories around the things we're communicating if and when we take the time to do it. Let me close with today's tweet. Want to communicate with impact? Send a handwritten note. Did you hear me mention my podcast a minute ago? Yes, the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. Some of you may be listening or watching because you're subscribed to the podcast. If so, great. Some of you aren't. You found this on YouTube or on my blog. And let me just tell you, 3 different kinds of episodes each week on the Remarkable Leadership Podcast, including the guest interviews that I mentioned a few minutes ago. You can learn more by going to remarkablepodcast.com. And every week, right here, another episode of Remarkable TV. I hope you'll join us because I'll be here. See you then.